beautiful collectors and Transformer fans. It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the incredible support of my patrons, Optibotimus Plus channel members, and even those of you that just hit that thumbs up button, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Earthrise Amazon exclusive Autobot Alliance Deluxe Class Ironhide and PROWL. That was a whole lot of stuff to say that it's a Amazon exclusive 2-pack with Earthrise versions of PROWL and Ironhide. And this is one that showed up and I didn't expect it to. Time and time again, this was delayed or in some cases, for some people, just outright canceled. We don't really know the reasoning behind it, but it might have something to do with the fact that like a boat that carried a whole bunch of Hasbro stuff, like dropped shipping containers off the coast of Hawaii. I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. But I'm super excited to actually get this. For the package, a little bit larger, but very much like a lot of the Earthrise packaging that we had before with really great art. You got Ironhide, you got PROWL. They're fighting around here on Earth. You can see the Ark crashed into the Mount St. Hilary mountain thing right there. A whole bunch of like trees and things like that. Really fantastic artwork on here. Come around to the back of the package, you can see that for the most part, these are just retools and repaints. But as I said, time and time again, when they make sense and it's how they looked, I'm perfectly okay with it. So again, I mean, that's the way that the character design was, so it doesn't bother me really at all. It's just a box. I already opened it because I couldn't wait. But for the packaging on these guys, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get them out here and see how cool they actually are. And for me, this is kind of a mixed bag of sorts. Mostly because of what they did to my boy Ironhide. Nothing different than what they did with Ratchet, but Ironhide really does just seem like it was phoned home. I'll get into that here in a bit. Starting off first with PROWL. This is the one that I think is probably the best in this set. As you can see, it is the same as that blue streak. You can take that off. That just plugs in there. But basically, now you have blue streak, and then you just plug that back in, and now, look, PROWL. So, I mean, that's, you know, it is what it is. But nice color on here. The white looks really good. The black looks nice. It's pretty clean. You got police there. Kind of wish that this wasn't white. That kind of stands out and looks a little bit weird, but you know, it's not that bad. You got a blue tinted window for the front, back. All of that looks really nice. You got some nice paint for the taillights. Gorgeous Autobot logo there. And then you have a translucent blue headlight section here, which all of it looks really very sharp. There's his head, his gun. You can plug... There's that. He does not come with his shoulder-mounted cannons. The cartoon didn't have it. The original G1 toy did, but these are meant to kind of look more like the cartoon, so I'm okay with it being done that way. Here is the Siege one. Weapons are different, which is nice to see. I'm glad that they gave us new guns. This obviously has a little bit more of that G1 look, but you do have that. And then obviously Cybertronian mode. Very similar. Obviously the colors fairly match decently. You got that kind of pointed black section right there. Autobot logo. You got the police siren and everything. I don't know if that says police or what, but obviously this is a very sleek, futuristic sort of thing. Like an alien would probably have. This is more of that cartoon model. So still really nice. Basically the same figure for the most part. They did retool it considerably because, again, this was Blue Streak, this was Smokescreen. It was all retooled of each other and then retooled again, basically, to give us these new Earthrise figures. So I like it. I do think it's a very nice representation of PROWL. Like I said, I would probably say that this is the star of the set because in both modes, he looks really good. Ironhide, though, again, I mean, the complaint about like these feet and how they didn't like remold these to give us a better back section is a valid complaint. I feel like they totally should have done that. But they straight up just used the same feet that we had in the Siege version. So it is what it is. A lot of other remolded parts. But one thing that instantly drives me nuts, and I mean, there's a lot of panels and everything, a lot of broken up areas. Ratchet's was like that too. I feel like it didn't look nearly as bad on Ratchet. But one thing you see about this, there's a pretty uniform color with the red. When you look at it there, it all is pretty much matched as best as possible. This one, though, it's like they just didn't care. And not much of the red matches. You can see this back section here does not match with this red. This top red section doesn't match with this red. This red is different from everything else. I mean, all of it just looks like a hodgepodge of things. It's like they have a car and they can't get the exact same parts to replace when they're doing things, so they find other cars that have it and they put it on there, and it's a slightly different color, and that just really bothers me. I just feel like that's insanely lazy, because like I said, this matches fairly decently. This one just doesn't. Not a giant fan of it. I mean, in general, he kind of sort of looks like that Earth mode, but it's definitely not as good as it possibly could be. He does have that same thing here. Let's just bring this out, where this whole back section becomes his shield weapon. So again, you have that, and I showed this off with Ratchet, so nothing's different. It's like a blast shield or something, so you do have that, and you can just straight up just take this and make this kind of look like that. Basically, it's the same kind of thing, so there's that. Yeah, I just... Robot mode gets better, and that's honestly why I say that he's the better figure out of this pack, because both modes look really good. This one, though, he just doesn't. His other accessory is a repaint of Ratchet's. It's done in this, there's black and then there's silver or gunmetal gray right up there. So that's the same kind of thing. Kind of wish they gave us that drill weapon that came with the Centurion set. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use that one as the weapon for Ironhide, but wish they could have given us a different weapon with that, because they gave us a different weapon with Prowl, so I don't know. But there you go. That's the vehicle modes on these guys. Transformation is the exact same. I'm not going to focus on it. I'm going to use that good old-fashioned Optibotimus movie magic. And we're going to take these guys from looking like this to looking like this. And again, for the most part, these are just repaints. You do, I want to say that you do get a new head sculpt with Prowl, and you obviously get a new one with Ironhide, but I really do like the way that these guys turned out. Again, they do a really good job of capturing that G1 character look. Now again, taking a look here first at Prowl. Again, you got that same basic design that we saw previously with Siege. It's just, instead of being this Cybertronian mode, he now has an Earth mode. And, I mean, it works. Let's get him completely out of the way. I mean, I do really like it. Obviously, again, the Autobot logo here is going to be in the center because this is the actual front of the car, much like this. So some of those elements are going to be a little bit different between the two. But really nice still nonetheless. A lot is basically remolded on here. His hands are remolded. That's really quite nice to see. But basically everything on here, I'm trying to see, like the biceps are different, the forearms are different. Yeah, pretty much everything on here is different. So, I mean, they really did do a great job of updating. Now, I do kind of like the head sculpt here a little bit more. You can see that his crest is a little bit more separate from his body. I don't think you're wrong either way. I mean, both of them look like Prowl, but this one has more of that kind of sunken in sort of thing. So maybe that head sculpt isn't different. I should have brought the other ones out and I didn't, but I'm sure one of you guys will be able to tell me. But I do kind of like the head sculpt on the previous one a little bit better. I just think it looks nicer. You do have some extra yellow details on here that is lacking on him, but again, that's not really all that inaccurate to his cartoon look. So, again, while I really do like what they did with this figure, ultimately, it's not what's going to stay. It will be this version. And then swapping him out to take a look at Ironhide here. And, of course, bringing in that Siege one for comparison. A lot is going to be the same with these guys. Let me get this off of him. Obviously, a lot of remolded parts on here as well, but a lot of them are also the same. Like, for example, the arms are all basically the same. Well, the bicep, the forearms, the hands, those are the same on him. His thighs are the same. So the feet are also the same. Is the head different? Yeah, head's different, so that's nice. But while I liked that Siege Prowl head a little bit more, I kind of like the Earthrise one with him a little bit more. In general, though, I really do like the way that this guy looks. The different red colors don't stand out nearly as much here as they did in the vehicle mode. So again, that's why I say that the Prowl figure is better, because vehicle and robot mode look fantastic. His robot mode looks fantastic. The only part about his robot mode that annoys me, and it's mostly just because it just appears like they reused this connector bit right here, is this. I wish they could have figured out a way to paint that red, even though it probably wouldn't have matched. The gray right there just... it bugs me, and I don't see a lot of people talking about it, so it's probably just me that it bugs, but that I just think is kind of ugly for the most part. But a really nice update, regardless. Oh yeah, even the tires are the same. So there's a lot more stuff that carries over with Ironhide here than Prowl. Bringing Prowl back in, let's get him standing up nice. And of course, for one final comparison, here these guys are next to a Coca-Cola Tic Tac container. All in all, a terrific set, and honestly for me, one that is worth having in your collection. The biggest problem though is, again, that whole exclusive mess that Hasbro's doing. And I get it. You know, without having a full store like Toys R Us to be able to put exclusives and things like that, you got to find other avenues to do it. These are absolute A-list characters. And while Amazon is a little bit better than things like Target or Walmart even, Amazon really did drop the ball with, both this as well as that upcoming Conehead set that, well, I shouldn't say upcoming because it's already come out. I'm just getting it way late. And I am really curious about why that happened. I'm trying to see here. Do these legs... I'm trying to fiddle with these legs to see why this... Oh, I guess... Does that actually tab in there? That's weird to me that there's a little hole right there. This, though, doesn't seem to go in all that far with that hole. Oh, there we go. All right, that actually locked that in. That was fairly interesting. I'm not a big fan of them doing exclusives this way. It definitely is unfortunate. You look at somebody like Ratchet, who's a Walgreens exclusive, definitely difficult to get behind that. But I would pick these guys up if you can find them. The problem, though, is I don't know how easy it will be to find them unless you go through places like eBay, where you're going to more than likely pay at least twice the retail, and these were retailing for $60, I believe. But it's unfortunate because they're, like I said, A-list characters. If you do have the Siege ones and you can't get these Earthrise ones, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Those Siege ones are still absolutely fantastic figures. I guess for the most part, it just depends on how accurate you want your different characters to look compared to their animation model. I'm a big proponent of it, so this was definitely one that I was happy to see finally get fulfilled by Amazon. But keep your eyes open. I do know that occasionally these and other figures pop back up on Amazon, so get those notifications. Have that turned on so that if they do show up, you guys have a little bit better of a chance of getting them. And if you can, I would recommend it. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, I want to send a huge shout out to all of you that helped to make reviews like this possible. Whether it being just hitting that thumbs up button, or taking things a little bit further and becoming patrons or Optibotimus Plus channel members. If you'd like information on how you can help support my channel by becoming a patron like these guys have done, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/Optibotimus. Or if you want to keep all of your perks and rewards like custom emojis, loyalty badges, exclusive member live streams and Zoom calls, and the occasional giveaway like these guys do, consider becoming a member of Optibotimus Plus. And for that, all you have to do is click on that little join button right down there. And finally, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.